2 and Battalion 3. Fire alarm. 1221 East Broad Street, at the transportation building. Engine 6, Engine 11, Top 2, and Battalion 3. Fire alarm. 1221 East Broad Street, at the transportation building. Cross streets are Governor Street and Northland 14th Street. On tap channel 2. Timeout. 10:27.
It's a pretty clear channel there. Well, I take that back. There was adjacent equipment that was active. Digital stuff. Whoops. Goodness.
Company shoulder route 1221 East Broad for the general fire alarm. Company report fire alarm unknown order information. Company's around 10:30 hours.
I need to program that. Quit making the same mistake twice. Yeah, there's a lot of digital stuff going on around that. But I can still hear a clear voice on analog. When I originally found this, I looked it up. It was allocated to the American Red Cross. There's so much noise for this device. I'm not picking them up. Did I get the frequency right? Yeah. Anyways, it's supposed to be allocated to the American Red Cross. But a security company is using it. I thought it was the security company at the hospital, but it doesn't sound like it, according to the fire department. Slow your roll. Slow your roll. At least it's a false alarm. thus far. It was a weird alarm. I wish they could have got that audio on there earlier, but it just wasn't fast enough. I was hoping to hear those portable radios on the SDR dongle, but I do not. Did not have good fortune. But I guess I had good fortune to be fast enough to activate the scanner radio app. The audio feed being at least 2 minutes behind actual dispatch. Had enough time to actually activate it twice because the smart device that's using the SDR dongle is faster to activate. That's the one on the right than the one on the left. It's an older phone, and I think it's not laden with software like the new one is, or with apps. So I've taken off as many apps as I cared to in order to make it run as fast as I can. The phone on the left is probably about 2 years old, and like anything else, even the old Androids, they have a tendency to slow down a lot within the first year or two anyways. And it's the same battery issue. They have a tendency to not charge as much, or not hold as much of a charge every charge rate. But I work with what I have. Mostly it's all in fun. Excuse me. Give it a few more minutes. We'll find out exactly what's going on. Had to move that frequency counter. The antenna was in the shot, in the frame, in order to get another one of those bookends up there to support both Androids.
Battalion 3 is on scene. Battalion 3 on scene, 10:35.
I always find it kind of neat that that particular app on the left, I believe it's Radar Now, it has a tendency to show, and we're not that far from Wakefield anyways, but it has a tendency to show low clouds. I don't know how low that is. Ooh, look at that. That was strong, even through the digital noise. See if we can narrow that just a little bit. It's just a hair off frequency.
Activating an alarm. The system has been reset. All companies can go back into service.
Okay, so I guess dust from construction has set off the alarm.
All companies responded to our turn 1 East Park and return 10:36.
And that's not uncommon. It seems to happen a lot in these buildings downtown. Hanging drywall and cutting drywall and sawdust and whatever. And it's not so much that it's the particulates, I guess, but it's enough. Heck, our smoke detectors here, I can boil water and that'll set off the smoke detectors. It just sees it. It sees it like smoke. So if it weren't for the local digital noise, it would be easier to hear that. And I'm not sure yet how to filter that out. I've got a band stop filter, I think, for broadcast radio. I may have to put in line another type of filter to filter out all that strong digital noise that comes from all these other devices downtown. But at least the ultraviolet fiber there, it does its job, and it hears very well, I guess, for what it's worth. I don't really scan with that one. I have scanned with it like anybody else. I think it's slow, so I pick a couple of frequencies. I'll listen to this one specifically because it's just weird to me. It seems like it's a whole system that's unassigned a license, and then I use MURS channel 5, which used to be Green Dot, and I speak to the better half on that one. It's just convenient for us, and we don't have to shout at each other through the walls or down a hallway through the open door over there. And she kind of enjoys it too, so it makes it fun for us. That's the two frequencies I use on that radio, although there's a handful that's on there. I don't have to scan with that radio. I got other radios to scan with, of course, but it's handy, and for this, what I'm doing is very handy. And I just happened to catch the alarm there. The radio was on. Sometimes I turn it off, and I was asked to turn it back on early this morning for conversation, and I just happened to have it on again, and that fire alarm was blaring in the background. Somebody was nearby, I guess, and they asked somebody else to report to that location, whatever it was. I didn't catch it, and they called the fire department, I guess, or unless the alarm company called the fire department. It doesn't always happen that way. And then again, it's not always a false alarm, so just in case, it's kind of fun to follow along, and it can still be done. That's the neat thing about the battle with the encryption and encoded stuff, where you can't listen to fire and police and EMS anymore. But you get other companies that are indirectly involved, like security, depending on where they are, how close you are. You'll get that information first before police, fire, EMS is dispatched. It just naturally happens that way, I guess. But at least they're analog, and it's a pretty easy, neat way to find out things like that. Not that I'm nosy or anything. I'm trying to spy on people,